Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with my review of the deluxe Brave TyrannoKing from Power Rangers Dino Force Brave. Again, we are not on Earth 2 or any other subsequent Earth. This is the Kyoryuzin sequel that they have commissioned for Korea, which uses the Power Rangers Dino Force name. Dino Force Brave, I believe, is what makes this one different. So these are kind of like a more extreme version of what we got here in the US of repaints of the Zords, but they have slightly remolded them. In some cases, they're just more or less a straight up repaint. Some of them are more than the others. I would say Tyra here, who's become Canon Tyra, is the most significant, even though it's literally just like a hat and a color change. But I think he looks more different than these two. There's one that has like a straight up remold different head, but that's for another time, I guess. But anyway, the way I would describe the way these specifically are designed is, if you've seen Harold and Kumar, do you remember the Extreme guys? If they designed Kyoryuzin Zords, like that's what it would be. It would be like Extreme Gun, Extreme Saw Blade, Extreme Shovel. So that's kind of what it's like. So anyway, they do, in addition to the 3 Zords that they come with, they each also have their own Judenshi. Canon Tyra's is the same as the one from the Changer, so you'll get the same sound, so I'm just going to show the generic sounds for that. In fact, that's what we're going to be doing first, is the morpher functionality, so I don't forget it. Also, I'm not going to be showing the box because the box is actually quite large, and I couldn't even fit it in the review station. You know how it is. So just to prove it, I just now realized that this changer has the same color scheme as these 3 Zords with the red, blue, and black. Alright, so now we have the 2 that are actually new to us. So here we have Blacks, which is Stegotop, which is the Extreme Saw Blade. Again, I like how, I mean, the Zords are pretty basic. They honestly, in some ways, look bootleg. Like, it's like, hey, we repainted and put a saw on him. But I feel like that and these have a little more care than this, where it just looks like they really, like, crappily photoshopped a picture of a saw in the background. So yeah, that's just kind of funny. So here's its transformation noise. So you can hear its extreme saw blade noises. Alright, now we will do Blues, which they have taken the beautiful pink Triceratops, which I thought was just like the coolest thing, and turned it into the Blue Rangers, which is like a thing with a shovel. His actually looks a little bit better, his little symbol. This one's called Kira, which is just, I don't know, I just find it to be a really funny name. Kira. And then, of course, you can, I'll put these 2 in. I won't bother with Tyra since we already got that one. Or Canon Tyra, excuse me. And you can do the Mechamucha, of course. And the last thing I'll do, just for the heck of it, is I'll just switch them around so you can get the different inflections, since I'm not going to do that in my demo of the sounds. So there's the, nope, sorry, not done. The different inflection of the sounds. Okay, So we'll set these aside. We're going to need those to do the combination noises, but for now we're done with that. So let's get to the meat of this. 5 minutes in, let's look at the actual guys. Let's start with this one because I said so. So just like the changer, this is the identical molds and quality used by the Kyoryuzin stuff, just slightly redone. I'm going to be showing just a real quick side look at each one of them. So here it is with the original. Obviously it was a pink Triceratops, much more traditional. They repainted it white with blue accents and given it this shovel-like weapon as opposed to the drills. It's probably my least favorite of the three. In this mode you can get the camera to go blurry on it, but you can move this back and forth because of transformation. You can move his little legs because of transformation, and obviously open his mouth to put one of the batteries in there. I'm going to actually be using an old Kyoryuzin battery as a stand-in to make doing the sound transformation easier. You still get the drill there, but yeah, just probably not my favorite. This one's probably my second favorite. It's probably still not one of my overall favorites that they've done. I think it looks kind of cooler with the white and black color scheme, and the saw blade is kind of neat, but even still it's kind of more lazy. And granted, in principle, just slapping a saw blade on Sagochi isn't that different than the gun on Gabutyra, but like the way they went about this makes it look more like well thought out. Here it is next to his actual original counterpart, so you can see the differences there. So yeah, it's a real weird case. So I'm gonna have to move these guys aside to do his comparison. But let's just take a look at him on his own first. This is my favorite. This is probably my favorite thing about Dino Force Brave. I just think it looks really cool. I love the color scheme. The white, black, and red look really cool together. Again, in principle, it's not that different than the others. They're just repainting it and slapping one distinct feature on it, which is this Gatling gun here. But I think it looks really awesome. It's probably my favorite repaint of Gabutyra or Rexy, or however you want to call it, that we've gotten. But because between Dino Charge and Kyoryuzin, we've gotten multiples. You know, we got the yellow one, the green one, the black and golden edition, black silver edition, whichever way you want to call it, for both Dino Charge and Kyoryuzin. So yeah, I like this a lot. I think it's really awesome looking. It's just the color scheme, the Gatling gun, got his little arms there. He does have sounds, and they still do read everything. And I'll be doing what sounds is basic for when you get this, and I will be doing a quick demo video of all of the Judenshi I have. Again, it's not that different. It's mainly just showing that it can do the same sounds. But just a quick side-by-side with original Gabutyra. So, also of note, if you put their Judenshi, the Dino Force Brave Judenshi in this guy, it just reads it as their counterpart. So it will be Gabutyra and so forth. So yeah, there you can see the difference. It makes him just look so much more badass. So yeah. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get to the sounds and the transformation and all those type of goodies. So this guy has an on-off switch. Very similar to the changer. It shares many of the same bass. I would say these are like 80% the same noises. So you get those noises in this mode. You can put any Judenshi in there and it will read just its name, but if you want to get like the full features of both the transformation and their individual sounds, you'll need to put it in its transformed mode. So as such, we will get him ready. So we're just going to pull this off the back. This is the same. Honestly, I'm like an old pro at this point. The helmet just fell out. Between the year of Kyoryuzin reviews and then 2 years of Dino Charge reviews, 2 years and counting. All right, so then just fold these up like you normally would. Dig it down. I don't know why I said dig it down. I don't even know what that means. Swing it around. There you go. You got that done. Then put this up here. Let's pan up a little bit. Got the little helmet there. Take a closer look at that. I usually save that for last, but because of what we have to do here, it makes more sense. As for prep for these guys, you're going to want to take this clean off, and it will be able to be held like a sword, which I'll show briefly. But it can't really fit on there like the other one because of how large the... just transform it like that. You can see what I'm doing. But how large it is. Usually with Sagochi you could leave it on, but you can't in this case because of how large the saw blade is. Again, round of applause here for Stamero being the stand-in for it. Alright, blue also very simple. Just folding the legs like you normally would. Again, if you... Not even if you're a huge collector like me, but if you've been any way remotely collecting this stuff from Dino Charge and this in Kyoryuzin, then you know all this. And another round of applause for Alamaris being his stand-in. Okay, the reason we do that is because if you're familiar with Kyoryuzin, just like I said, you have to use all of their batteries in a row in order to activate the sounds. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so with that one, hopefully this works on the first try. I always botch it on the first try. That one sounds the funniest. Alright, and then this one last. And leave it in. Now. So. Now press this.
Brave TyrannoKing.
So there you have the transformation sounds. As with the changer, like I said, it's a mix of a little bit of its own original things, but mainly it's Kyoryuzin stuff. And also, I did not forget, you want to snap this backpack on there. I was just kind of worried it was going to flop off when I was doing transformation.
Brave TyrannoKing.
That actually brought up my next point, which was if you press it again just in this mode, it'll just re-say the name. So this can now become the sword, which actually becomes kind of an awesome sword saw blade. Sword? Yeah, I said that right. So that's kind of cool, actually. I kind of dig that. I think it's cooler than the original sword. I'm just going to kind of put it down there because it's kind of in the way. So now if you take this out, it will read the other ones with its own unique sound, which isn't that different than what you get in the Morpher, but... So I will be doing sound videos for the other ones, the old ones, or not videos, just one video, but these are the ones we got with us today. Alright, and lastly, real quick, we can just do Kyoryuzin on its own, and I'll do one old one before we kind of just take a look at this dude up close-ish, closer to more. Alright, so those are unique sounds for the ones that I have, and I almost forgot, here's the unique sounds for the other one that's included with the Morpher. Okay, and then here is the Super Sentai one, the Kyoryuger one. So it reads as that sort of default one that I talked about in the Morpher review. I don't remember if I mentioned it in this one or not. So anyway, all those sounds and bells and whistles aside that we just took out like 5 minutes to do, here it is in all of its glory. Again, I really like this. Between Kyoryuzin and this formation, these are my two favorite things out of the series. Again, I haven't really gotten to watch it outside of clips because no one subbed it yet, but I don't know how I would feel about it or anything. But regardless, I really like this a lot. I feel like I wish the head sculpt looked a little bit better. When you watch the footage or see the pictures, it is smushed in like that, but I wish it just looked a little bit more seamless. But otherwise, I really dig this a lot. I actually like it better as a cohesive whole than I do original Kyoryuzin. Like I said, I love Kyoryuger. It's one of my favorite Sentais. I do like the designs. Maybe not my overall favorite dino designs, I'm not sure, but I really like this one a lot. It's just, so that's why I wanted to get it. I think it was a really cool design choice. I think it looks really awesome. Even though I think that these are kind of weak as individuals, and this one kind of steals the show in the center, I think as a cohesive whole, not just because of the awesome looking cannon here, and I think that the helmet looks really cool. I just think the color scheme works really well with the white and the black, and I'm just now realizing how much that it is just this color scheme because I'm the dumbest boy in school. But I just really like it, and I think it works really well. But as for like a final verdict, it kind of comes back to the same thing with the Morpher, is that this isn't really something that is in a huge mainstream, I guess. So it's not something where I'd be like, oh man, this show's really cool. This is an awesome thing. Get it from it. So it's kind of different. I think that if you really like Kyoryuzin stuff like me and you really like the design of this, I think it's a neat thing to have, more of a niche thing. But right now, I think that there's rumors of Japan possibly doing it as a premium thing. So I would just kind of wait it out. My main point is, I'm sort of chasing my own tail here, is that I don't think this is an absolute must-have item for your collection, but I think that if you like niche things like this, this is kind of a neat thing. Definitely odd and kind of clunky in the black and blue Zords department, but in terms of the Tyrannosaurus and the whole package, I think it's a really neat, like unique thing to have for fans of the show, or the old show, even if you don't like the new show. It's just a weird thing to recommend. The point is it's a cool Megazord or Mecha, but it's just kind of from a weird place, so it's hard to get to a recommendation. So I don't think this last 3 minutes of my recommendation here has been helpful at all. So I'll just sign out before I make this even more confusing. Until next time, make sure you guys a crazy podcast at writersrangerambles.com, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Dawson Ryder signing out.